What's up, everybody? It's Damp, and today I'm going to show you a new game that's come out fairly under the radar, that is designed by a company called Particle Studios. You can follow them at ParticleGS. It is a pretty much one-man show that has designed this game completely with RPG Maker, believe it or not, so you'll notice some similarities when we get into the game. But this is actually a survival simulator that's really realistic. I was really impressed with how realistic the game is and the content that's in it so far. Like I said, it's been in development for 3 years, so I'll kind of give you guys just the basics of the game and where it currently is, and I'll be doing some videos on this as well moving forward. So the game right now is $14.99 on Steam, and here's kind of what you can expect. So they have free roam, obviously, where you last as long as you can. User-made scenarios, which aren't currently available to my knowledge yet. And then they have the scenarios where you go through here. So this is almost like a tutorial or a campaign mode, but the tutorial is pretty brutal. It's pretty difficult. So if you like Darkest Dungeon with the amount of difficulty it has, this is right up your alley. So the way this works is as you complete these tutorials, you get these tokens that you see on the left where it says unlocks renewal token. So the tokens give you special abilities that you can utilize in any of the game modes as almost like a buff, a passive buff that helps you with certain things, like your bait's more appealing when you fish, you're unlikely to take heat stroke for a certain length of time. I'll show you a couple of them as we go into the game, but this is, if you like Rust, if you like Stranded Deep, DayZ, this kind of game's right up your alley. If you like Stardew, it's really going to appeal to you from a graphics perspective. So what I'll go through is kind of go through some free play, and we'll just start with the default settings. And you can see the amount of detail that goes into the game as I go through here, and I'll play a little bit. So at the bottom, I'll kind of pause it and show you the UI. So at the bottom, you have obviously the time. You have your current status of your health in the middle. So that bar can go up or down based off of drinking water, drinking soup, let's say, bathing or jumping in the water to try and cool yourself down from a temperature standpoint. And the lower that is, the less likely you are to sweat. The higher it is, the more likely you are to sweat. And sweat is going to make you dehydrate more, which is the bar on the right, is your hydration meter. You can see the wind scale on the right, how sunny it is, and if it's humid. Now the humidity is a factor because there are certain items you can make in the game that will give you more water if you're using, for example, a humidity condenser if it's more humid. Or you can dig in the ground to get groundwater, and based off how wet the soil is how likely you are to get groundwater. I mean, there are so many things that go into the game. I'd have to do probably 3 or 4 Let's Plays in order to kind of show you how the concept works. So everything you do in the game takes the energy that you see there. Your energy is brought back up with food. And you can see there he says, use a rock to open the coconut. So food is always a bottleneck. But on top of that, you've got to keep in mind your core temperature and then also your humidity. And let's say it's dries out over the next couple days. You may not have access to a water source that you once had access to. So here's kind of the overview of the inventory system. Pretty simple, but I think it's really clean as well. So you can see the amount of energy you get from those berries there. Utilities that you have, which could be a sharp stone, a tool, which might be an axe, and then miscellaneous, which right now there's nothing you can do with those, but if you were to go to the crafting menu, everything that you select allows you to create different items. So thorns basically function like needles, and you can use them to make fishing rods, to make any type of clothing here that you see here. So that's one example of how you use them. As you begin to pick up more and more items, the crafting becomes possible. You don't have to learn particular crafting recipes. Like, you don't have anything that's set in stone that says, oh, I have to unlock this. As you begin to play the game, you learn a lot more about how you can scavenge items, and I'll kind of give you an example once I find some rocks and we can open this coconut. But here primarily what I'm focusing on are sticks so I can make traps, and I'm going to look for a rock because the rock is one of the most versatile tools in the game. So you can say that he's starting to feel hot right now. So some of the things you can do are go to the bank here, and you can actually bathe, and you'll see the meter in the middle go down the longer we spend in the shade. So I'll kind of go in here just to show you guys. So we're protected from the sun here, so this is a good place to hang out midday, and it tells me that there's animals in this area. So what I can do is dig a trap. As you dig, we found some loot. We found some sulfur. So we're going to dig again. And we found a long rock, which is good. That's really important. Continue to dig. We got more loot. Another rock. So the long rocks can be used like knives, and the other rocks are used like axes. So we can see that we are in an area where there's animals, so we're going to go ahead and build a trap. And then we're going to set a bait, which we're going to use the berries there. And now we're going to leave it for a couple hours. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the more you trap things, the less likely they are to come back. So you do have a limit on how many you can capture. And if you get a pregnant animal, you probably want to let it go, because it's more likely to reproduce and hope give birth and bring the population up, because there is a balance in an area where you can exploit all the resources and then you have to go. You have to move on. So since we have this rock, I'll kind of show you what we can do with the coconuts. So if you've seen like Survivor Man or a lot of those other shows, how versatile the coconut is. And the devs, or I should say Dev, Pablo, really took that into account. So we're going to crack it open with our rock. And you notice the amount of energy it takes is quite a bit. But look at our resources. We're going to get back a filled coconut and half coconut. So that splits, and now we have something. The coconut will obviously give us hydration. So we got that. So we're going to go ahead and eat that. But then what also happens is you get materials that you can utilize to catch rainwater or refill with water, or use them in a crafting recipe to create a humidity condenser, which will give us potable water. You can make a canteen with it, and then you could also make a desalinator. So all real cool things that you can do, and pretty realistic too, from what you're seeing here. So I'm going to go ahead and bathe a little bit because my temperature's starting to go up. We're going to bring that back down a little bit. You don't want to get too cool because then he becomes cold. So you can see he tells us that he's hungry. So tough break. We really don't have any food. Actually, we do have food. I got quite a bit of it. But you want to be selective about when you're using it. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to try to... We're going to try and make a sharp stone. We're going to clink these two regular stones together to make a sharp stone. So now we have a sharp stone. Now what's the difference? So this allows us to actually salvage, crack items open, and you get different uses on the radial dial, so to speak, of how you can react to the items. So when we go back and let's say we want to crack open our coconut again. So we're going to use our sharp stone. Notice how much your energy consumption goes down because you have a sharp stone now. So it goes down to only 12. But what instead I want to show you is what else you can do with these items now that it's sharp. You can salvage, you can carve, and you can crack open. So let's just say salvage. So we want to salvage this coconut meat. And now I have more food because I was able to salvage that out of the coconut, which is fucking awesome. It's badass. The other thing you can do, though, is you can actually slice fruits. So in case you wanted to ration out your fruits, you now have slices. Now keep in mind it's 15 energy for the fruit, but slicing it actually costs an energy, so that reduces it down to 14. But if you're trying to ration them out, there may be value in that. Or you may want to use them as bait rather than a whole thing, rather than a whole fruit. So there's a couple reasons for that. So it's been a few hours. We're going to go ahead and bathe again and bring our temperature down. Let's go check our trap. Notice that the swamp has dried up. So now we can probably have access to certain areas that we didn't, just because of we can now get past the water. So it's telling me I need to set up a campfire soon. It's also saying that we're obviously pretty hungry. I'm going to continue to gather sticks since we're in a humid area. I'll grab some leaves and some sticks, and maybe we'll do a humidity condenser. So now I can walk back here and grab these plants that previously I couldn't. Another thing to remember is that you can actually plant some of your seeds and make them grow depending on the condition of the soil that you're in. So currently I do not have anything that if I eat these I'll actually get some seeds. So that makes it more valuable, because right now I don't have any seeds that I can plant. So if I eat, let's say, one of these, you see what pops down here is I get a seed. So then I can dig a hole. Let's put it right here. Plant. And we planted a seed. Now in a couple days, hopefully if the weather's right, that will grow. The other thing we can look at is what are the materials we need in order to make a humidity condenser. So I need some sticks. Need some vines. You see we're missing a stick. So we want to make this as soon as possible. So we'll grab this stick. And it usually sticks and branches and twigs, logs, are really good resources to have because they can be a bottleneck at a later date. So for us, water's really not a bottleneck now, but we want to be prepared for that. So what we're going to do is actually spend some energy. Oh, we got some worms, so now we can do some fishing. I'll explain that in a second. See, now groundwater can actually fill up our hole. So we've spent our energy, but we've used it in a way that we're going to be able to recap some of the use of it. So it almost is like an investment. So I'll go ahead and eat the coconut meat because I already have the scraps from there. And then I'm also going to salvage the other coconut. So now I have some more wooden scraps that I can help start a fire. So see, here we have a pouchy fruit. So we'll see what we can do with the pouchy fruit. Nope. Oh, I guess I ate it. Whoops. So, okay, it did give us a seed. All right. And then also it gave us, it basically gives us a canteen. So I was going to see if we could slice it open or salvage it somehow, but it's okay. But we will use our energy to replant another seed. We've got some more worms. And we're going to plant earlier rather than later, so hopefully we can come back to that. Now it's pretty dark, but I'm in an area that is restricted from wind. You can see that because if I walk down here, see how fast the wind is, and walk back up in the bottom right, you can see it's slow. So fast, slow, fast, slow. So I'm going to hit setup new, and I'm going to set up a campfire. Ideally, I didn't want to use my sticks because I wanted to make a condenser, but we're going to need to make it for a fire. So we're going to light up the fire, which takes some energy. So we've got a flame, but we want to throw at the fire our wooden scraps that we aren't going to use for anything. And we'll probably want to add a stick eventually. That also does is light up the area enough so that I can grab my rat And then I want to build my trap back up. And it's almost the same trade-off. You could use a wedge, or you could just use a berry. So we'll just use a berry for now. So we've got our rat, we've got our campfire. Let's go ahead and cook it. So you need a stick in order to cook it, or a twig rather. And then what you'll see there is it doesn't cost us any energy, but we have the possible craft of a roasted rat meat. Now the other thing you can do is, let's say we had a rabbit. We could take our inventory, and this is already dead by the way. We could take this, and we could do salvage, and we could salvage the rabbit for their fur, but since it's a rat, it doesn't have that fur. So we're going to go ahead and cook it since we don't want to salvage it. 5 minutes later, we've got some roasted rat meat. And if you look at the energy, it's 15 energy. Now, depending on the animals you catch, the bigger the animal, the more energy you get. So there's some that give over 100 energy. And these don't really seem to deteriorate or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and eat it. And it's 11 o'clock at night, so we're going to get some rest because that gives you a bonus. We've already got our trap set. We've got our groundwater set. Another thing we could do... we'll just go ahead and wait till the morning. We'll sleep. We'll probably set a couple more traps tomorrow in some farther off places that we don't access. Then we'll try and build a fishing rod. So, from here, we'll just sleep. And he'll sleep as long as the fuel lasts, or until he's basically fully rested. So the fire's going off. So our options are to throw a stick at it, which, I don't know that I really want to do that. Sure, it's got a lot of fuel in it, but I need those for my condenser. So throw one of the thorns. And it's got fuel for a couple hours, so it should be enough for him to get some good sleep. But ideally, if you put enough fuel in there, he'll sleep all the way through the night. But we really don't want to sleep past 6 a.m. Pile of big leaves we'll need. And then here we go. We're just going to go out. We don't have any water in our hole yet, probably because the ground's pretty dry. We're going to go out and start exploring. Now, we could go to the other area around here, which is the desert, which is to the right, but I really don't want to go there right now because, again, risk-reward. We're really looking for sticks. We want to make our humidity condenser because it's really humid right now, but I'll show you guys. So you'd be walking over, and there's the desert. Not a ton of reason for me to be here if I can't find any sticks. That's really what I'm looking for. So there are a couple fruits we'll go ahead and grab. But we don't want to be wandering off into the desert. Oh, so now you can see it says there rainwater. So it's raining. So we're going to be smart about it. Use our sharp stone. Actually, we need to eat first. So we'll eat... We eat one of those, and then what we'll do is we're going to use our sharp stone to be time sensitive, take care of our coconut, drink our coconut, and then we've got our 2 shells, husks rather I believe, and we're going to go ahead and place those down on the ground. And that will begin to collect rainwater, and as we do it, we're going to go ahead and drink, because it's going to fill up really fast, and we want to get go ahead and max our health or our water out to 100, then we can leave them on the ground. Now the other thing we can do here is we crack open another one, but we're going to use this. We should be able to place that on the ground, and it should hopefully fill up. But again, same thing. These are filling up. When it rains, it doesn't last long. So if you react quick enough, so I could plant this seed too. So the rain isn't going to last very much longer. And we'll see if this filled up. Doesn't look like it. So I may have to actually bring that to the to a lake, which I don't have here currently. So our hole right there filled up with water. So this is really good that it's raining. It helps us a lot from a I don't want to say bottleneck standpoint, but from saving energy. So we need to check our materials, and we want to see if we can make our condenser. Oops. Actually, I think I'm missing a coconut husk. It doesn't tell me there. It must be a bug. But I do believe I need a coconut husk. So I'm going to open this up again. One thing to keep in mind is that every time you use one of your items, that it's going to deteriorate. So we have a half coconut that we should be able to utilize to make our condenser. There we go. Alright. So we are going to walk slowly because we actually have our water there. So we're going to go ahead and place our condenser. Right there is good. Not too far from where we are. And we have quite a bit of water now. So we'll go check our trap. See if we've got our trap. And from there, after we've checked our trap, we're going to probably begin to explore once we know we don't have a bottleneck of food and or water. Okay, so we got a big red. That's awesome. Alright. So then we're going to build our trap back up. Again, sticks are really important. Set our bait. Leave for several hours. And probably the next few things we want to eat are something that will give us something back. So, whoops. Begin to eat these things that are going to give us back seeds. So as our hydration goes down, we'll eat these guys. And then at night, tonight, we'll go ahead and cook this on a fire to give us some more energy. Kind of from here, what I want to do is utilize everything I have that can possibly bring us either food and or water. And then begin to build some items as I get more comfortable. I can begin to use some items for things like fishing rods to get some food. I can begin to use clothing, which will actually reduce the amount of energy I utilize. So let's take a look at what we can craft. Small fishes, medium-sized fishes. So what I want to do is look at getting another stick so I can make a fishing line, because I have the vines, I have the thorns. I need a stick, and then we can do some fishing, and I can kind of show you guys that. So we're going to go ahead and drink our coconut, even though it's not ideal. And we'll go ahead and eat a couple of these. Another thing to remember is if you are carrying a lot of stuff, your energy is going to go down faster. So that's another thing to keep in mind. That's something that's built into the game. So because it's so hot, my body temperature is so high, I need to go over and I need to bathe for a little bit. And I'll bathe to get my temperature down. You can see, obviously tells us he's hungry, but we're going to wait as long as we can until the evening to hopefully cook that rat. We'll just snack throughout the day. And we need to find some sticks, which we may not have any. Oh, there's a vine. I'll take that. May even be worth the investment to try to go up here and climb. I've already gone through there. Some twigs. Just to see what's up here. Climbing takes quite a bit of energy, but we're going to see what's up here. And we could actually set up a climbing vine. If we had the stick, we could set up a climbing vine so it's safer and faster for us to go down. So again, we have animals that are in the area here. This rock's got some water in it. I'm going to go ahead and drink so I don't waste it. And that's really not a good area to go down. We got some aloe there. This is probably an area we could go down and explore a little bit. It's getting kind of close to the end of the day, though. So that's the risk and reward. You don't know if you want to risk to go out here and explore when you know you have safety and a fireplace already set up. So we'll go ahead and show you guys this. So we slide down. It costs us a little energy. More sticks for our fire tonight. Some leaves. So we wasted almost 4 or 5 energy to come over here. Not a lot over here. These herbs are actually used in coconut soup, by the way. So I don't have the energy to go back up. So I'll probably go ahead and salvage that coconut husk. Actually, let's do this. So that was a lot of energy we had to use. 8 energy to come over here and really only find some sticks and some leaves. That's why you usually don't go exploring until you've got it to the point where you really don't have any concerns or bottlenecks or anything. So move back over, and really what I want more than anything is a stick so I can make a fishing rod. That would help eliminate some of the concerns I have for food. So we don't have any. We're going to throw some twigs at our fire. And now we're ready to light it up. So we'll light it up. So now we can cook our rat and begin to give ourselves some a little more food. So that's 39 energy. That's a huge help. So it may be worthwhile to go over to where the area we just were and plant some traps, because in the area we are now, we're going to begin to deplete the resources. So we'll take a look, see if we have another rat. Looks like we do. So there's a pregnant rat. I'm going to let that one go. Because I know that it's going to affect the cycle of how many animals are going to be in the area. So throw some more twigs on. See if we can craft some stuff. So we can go ahead and craft ourselves a hat, which will keep the sun off of us. I need more leaves to make the shirt, so the vest rather. So we can go over to our clothing, put our hat on. Now we got a hat, which gives you resistance. You guys could probably tell, but it gives you resistance to the heat of the sun and the rain. Alright. There's not a lot of value in me going out and doing anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and take... Oh, we got some seeds. What are those for? Twiggy seeds. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plant these seeds. I'll just plant them right here, that's fine. planted our seeds. We've got some water sources already ready to go. We've got a trap, hopefully for another rat for breakfast when we wake up. We're going to throw a few more sticks at the fire. And we will salvage out with our knife the coconut husk, which will give us some wooden scraps that we can use as fuel for the fire. So we throw those there, and we're going to sleep. Hopefully it's enough fuel to give us a good night's sleep. Nope. Looks like it wasn't. Okay, so we got to throw some more there. A couple thorns, because we don't need a ton of those, and they're a little bit of fuel. Some more sticks. Probably could have used the sulfur, but that's okay. So it's got enough fuel for a couple hours. We'll go ahead and go back to bed. And by around 6 a.m. we want to be up anyway. Alright, so our fire's going out. We probably have enough that if we caught... So we did catch a rat. An old rat, alright. Build our trap back up. Set our bait. And then now we should have breakfast. A little bit of fire. I gotta throw a little bit more of those thorns on there. Still not enough. So I gotta keep some just in case I get a stick to make the fishing rod. Okay, so we're gonna light it up with embers. Got a little bit of flame. Guess we only need one for a fishing rod, so hopefully that's enough. Nope, it's not. So, I'll actually use a leaf. There we go. Now it's strong enough we can make our rat. Ah, but I'm missing the sticks. Or branches, rather. Damn. Okay, so we need to go get some sticks in order to make our breakfast. There's our stick for a fishing rod. I went ahead to drink my water. Okay. Grab those, grab the stick. I can make my fishing rod. I'll go back over and hopefully can cook my rat. Not enough. Alright, so for now, we will, here's what we'll do. We're going to make our fishing rod because it's a necessity. We've already got our bait. So I'm going to try to hold out till dinner to make the rat. And maybe whatever fish we catch. So I'll be eating some of these instead. I'll eat my coconut husk. And probably eat my twiggy fruit if it comes to that. So I'll show you guys fishing, how this works. You got fish with, we're going to use our bait, our worms. And he kind of gives you commands of what to do. But basically you're just throwing it out, reeling it in, really waiting for a bite. Okay, so we feel something biting, and we got a fish. Alright, so now we have a minnow. So then we use our minnow. We're going to try and catch there we go. Reel in. tells us to hook it. The rod might break because it's kind of big. Ah, it escaped. So, I'm going to wait for another bite. There we go. Reel it in, reel it in, reel it in. We're going to try and hook it, and we got it. So we got a salmon. So our rod broke, but we got our fish. So again, risk reward. What would you rather, starve to death or have to build another fishing rod? Luckily for us, we have some materials here that can build us another rod. We really didn't use that much energy, so wasn't too bad. Okay, so go ahead and drink here. And we need to make sure we feed him or else he's going to pass out. So we'll give him enough energy to get that. We've got some sticks to start a fire and to cook our food, which will give us a lot of energy. It has enough fuel. We just don't have enough energy to get it lit. So again, we'll eat our fruit. Light it up. Since it's humid, we gotta blow some wind in it. Then we can cook. So we got our salmon. Got our rat. Now let's see what gives us the most energy. Salmon is 129. It's awesome. And we have 50 from the rat piece too. So probably best to use the salmon for a breakfast meal. When we first wake up, we have very little energy and we're going to go throughout the course of the day. So this will last us through the rest of today. And we can go through and probably dig some holes. And this would be a time to probably do some more scavenging as well. Now we have a lot of energy, so we can grab up all these pieces that maybe we can begin to build our jacket with. Grab these berries. We'll go ahead and bathe since we're so hot. It's probably costing us a lot of energy. Grab these coconuts. So we're not going to use the energy to go there today. What we'll do is we'll go over here and see what we've got as far as the desert goes, if there's any additional supplies. So there's some aloe. We really don't have any injuries. Now as it starts to get dark, okay, we got a rock, that's good. That's helpful. We'll see what we got here. So again, desert, got a cacti there, which we could probably get over to. So I'll just walk up here just to show you guys what the cactus is going to have for us. So a lot of energy again is being spent, and we got to get back to our shelter pretty quickly, so I'll just grab this and go. Alright, so now we're going to move back. Again, slide down. Slide down. And any water in here? Nope. We'll make our way all the way left, and it's probably going to get too dark before we get back. Yeah. So we'll have to do is we'll just go ahead and set up shop right here. Whoops. it's really windy there. Let's see if I can make it even though it's complete darkness. Nope. Nope. Okay, so we'll go ahead and place our fire there. Actually, we're not going to do a fire tonight. Because of the amount of supplies it will take, we're just going to try and sleep, and I'll show you what happens. So sleeping without a fire, he's hungry, he's starting to get cold, it's hard to sleep well because of how cold it is. Now we have a little bit of a moon cycle, so we're able to see a little bit better where we're going. There's a stick. So we can actually salvage some things because we have moonlight now. But you can see that in the bottom right. You can see how cloudy it is or how sunny it is, etc. Alright, then we're back to our regular area, and I know it's dark as hell and it's hard to see. So, I'll go ahead and try and make him sleep for at least a couple hours till it's light outside. Then we'll use up as much energy as we can. We'll eat our salmon. See, now he feels pretty rested. And then there's our plants that have already begun to grow some fruit. And again, we're just going to salvage as much as we can. So that's the first 3 days, and that's really what I wanted to go over with you guys to kind of show you the game and some of the concepts and how it works. It's a really awesome game. I'd highly recommend that you check it out. I'll be doing some more videos and things on this, so if you decide to get it, let me know for sure. If you guys want to tweet at the dev of the game and let him know you found it here, because he's been pretty cool. I'll be posting some Q&A sessions that he did with me. He did on stream live. I'll be posting those in the comments. And there'll be, actually, I'll post his Twitter, and I'll post the videos that he did with us. You'll see those probably the next couple days. I'll post those for you. You can see the questions that he answered. So from here, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.